Hey peeps, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about tips and tricks to pass as an ally shaman. This is not the ICC guide, which will be coming later this week. This is just a general passing guide. First up, let's talk about the Scourge Bane. Scourge Bane is an item from TBC which gives you 15 spell power against undead. And in ICC, everything is undead, meaning you have constant spell power. This item is kind of a hassle to get because a lot of people use it, meaning possibly farming it at late hours is preferable. You just go around and kill these mobs, and then when you loot them, you get spinal dust. And once you have enough spinal dust, you can go to this NPC and trade the spinal dust in for one Scourge Bane. Next up, we have the chipped power core. This item drops from the Arcane Reavers and gives you 25 spell power for 30 seconds. Unfortunately, this is unique, meaning you can only have one in your inventory. Maybe it's possible to put one in your bank and have one in your inventory, so you can use one and then use Jeeves and actually get the one out of the bank, so you can use it on 2 bosses. But this is also a very nice free item you can use to get a little bit extra spell power for your fire ally. Next up, I'm talking about an item that is probably super obvious to some people, but I still see people not using them, and that is the Wild Magic Potion and the Speed Potion. People, I'm telling you, it is very important to pre-pop your Wild Magic Potions. Before the combat starts, when you have the pull timer, when it hits about 2 or 1 seconds, you want to use Wild Magic. Get all your trinkets procced and everything else and use your fire ally. These 200 spell power help immensely for your fire ally to be big. One thing I've noticed that not many people know is the fact that Demonic Pact got changed in ICC. It now updates every single second, meaning if the Warlock gets a proc, let's say the trinket or the cloak, the Demonic Pact value will go up. Why am I telling you this? Whenever you have all your procs, let's say you have your cloak, both your trinkets, your pot and everything running together, and you have a combined time of 4 seconds for all your procs. Try to wait 1, 2, maybe even 3 seconds to hold out on putting the fire ally, because your warlock might get a trinket proc, making the Demonic Pact bigger, which also makes your fire ally bigger. Of course, do not waste any procs from yourself, but try to wait a little longer nowadays, because sometimes the warlock gets unlucky and the pact could be way bigger. Now you might ask, well, how do I keep track of the Demonic Pact and all my procs? There's a simple weak aura, it's called the Fire Elemental Snapshot Hub, which shows you the current spell power gain of either your Demonic Pact or your totem and all the other procs with a timer. The above number is your current spell power, and once you put down the fire ally, the number below the fire ally icon is the spell power value you snapshotted your fire ally at. Another easy thing that people seem to forget is your meta gem. You need 2 blue gems to make your meta gem active. So whenever you swap gear, please pay attention that you keep your meta gem active. It's very important. It's a very great DPS gain. Another important thing is your hit. Your hit is very important because obviously you don't want to miss. You need a total of 17% hit, 10% as alliance because you get 1% from your racial, and 11% as horde because you have no racial. 3% come from your talent, and the other percentages come from boomkin/shadow priest. If you raid a 10-man without a boomkin or shadow priest, have some items that have a little bit more hit on it so you can equip them and actually play like a normal person. Another step to great DPS is having the right glyphs for each boss fight. In ICC, there isn't really that many glyph changes, but there are a few where you can possibly make some, which also increase your DPS by a decent amount. Another very easy step to great DPS is always be casting. Moving around, or in general just not casting at all, is a DPS loss, so you want to position yourself in a way where you know you don't need to move much to reach the ads that spawn, or any mechanics that might come into your way. In ICC, it's not always that easy, but it's still a decent thing to keep in mind because on some fights it is easier than others. Now, one important thing for passing is knowing which ads count and which don't. As an example, the small ads on Lich King that he spawns do not count, but you can cleave of them with Chain Lightning if you target the boss. If it hits 3 people, it gives you the 33% chance to overload, and it is a DPS increase even in single target for the boss, even if the ads don't count. But as an example on Sourfang, the ads have AoE reduction, meaning Fire Nova is basically completely useless. You do not want to use it, but Chain Lightning spam is very good, and that's also one reason why Chain Lightning Glyph on that fight is actually quite decent. Another easy free DPS skin is when holidays are around. As an example, for Midsummer we have the Toasted Smoke and the Midsummer Sausage giving us haste and spell power. For Halloween we have the Pyroblast Cinnamon Ball, which stacks up to 4 times, giving us 24 spell power. For Valentine's Day we have perfumes that give us spell power, and so on. Always keep a look around for items that give you spell power, especially easily gained by events. This is everything for now. I really hope this helped you in some way. I'm thinking about making more videos, specifically one for ICC parsing and one for what to do once you hit level 80 as a fresh Heli Shaman, because there's a lot of things people don't know, or they generally just don't know what to do. I would really appreciate a sub and a like. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.